remember, George, when I was doing spring games or any type of spring practices, the DNs always called out a sack, even if they weren't close to me. So let's see if Coach Cristobal and his staff are objective about that 1 point for the defense.
Well, you know, Coach Cristobal is an offensive line coach, so it'll be interesting. Is he going to be hard on his offensive line, or is he going to be a little easier on him? We'll see. Kick is in the air and through the end zone. Tyler Van Dyke, obviously, leading the charge here for this particular group. 2 years ago, he was incredible in his 9 starts. Last year, injury-riddled, for sure.
And dealt with a lot of shoulder injuries, too, which is hard for any quarterback. When I watched him, I just felt like he was trying to force things. He was trying to make the big play. And when you go back to the 2021 season, George, you just felt like the offense came to him so much more simpler. Now, maybe that's because he was an incoming freshman. He was the backup at first. D'Eriq King goes out with an injury, so the pressure wasn't necessarily on him. But I'm expecting TVD to get back to playing in that fashion he did in 2021.
And he's in the backfield with Henry Parrish, who started last year. They start off 4 wide receivers. Shannon Dawson, the offensive coordinator. And they do a reverse to start this off there. A little end around by Xavier Restrepo, who keeps it moving near the midfield mark.
It's an excellent job, excellent sell by the quarterback too. But Restrepo has been the player that the coaches...
And Restrepo and Tyler Van Dyke, they are roommates, so they know each other really well. They do everything together. They eat together. They golf together. And clearly, they play football well together, as you see here. Handoff up the middle to Parrish. Gains a couple of yards there. Tackle there made by Chance Williams. And you asked him about like what we're going to see, and he said, you know, he gets itchy. You're going to see some stuff. Well, he got itchy right away with that jet sweep there to start the game off.
Absolutely, and as a quarterback, you love play calls like a jet sweep. Just hand it off, let your guy get some positive yards, and then even a good call right there, the second play, a nice solid run by the running back Parrish.
2nd down and 7 here. Van Dyke flushed out of the pocket, rolls to his right, throws to Restrepo, finds his man, and he does have a catch. They'll give it to him at the 26-yard line. Pass there, Cam Kitchens on the tackle, a 24-yard gain.
It's an excellent pass because it's a roommate-to-roommate connection, George. You just talked about it. These guys are golf buddies, and obviously here connecting on a big-time throw, rolling to his right.
Got Tyler Van Dyke on some of the Latino food you can get down here in South Florida. He's a Connecticut kid, and Restrepo is a South Florida kid from Palm Beach.
Very true, very true.
Here's Tyler Van Dyke. 1st down here at the 25-yard line. Hand off to Parrish up the middle. Makes a man miss. Bowls over some guys there and gets near the sticks. Markeith Williams with the tackle. 10-yard gain. Van Dyke in the gun. Parrish to his right. A couple of tight ends in there now in this formation. A throw to the end zone for Van Dyke. Do we have a catch? Nope, incomplete. Intended for Colby Young. A couple of tight ends, 2 receivers out there for Van Dyke on 2nd down. Dumps it into the flat to Jaleel Skinner, the tight end, and he is out of bounds inside the 10-yard line to the 7-yard line. A gain of 7 on the play.
We're top 5 in a lot of categories in the country, so I'm expecting to bring that over here to the U.
3rd and 3. 3 plays of 10 yards or more, and that one got swallowed up in the backfield quickly. Number 51, Francisco Mauigoa, the transfer from Washington State, drive after a 3-yard loss.
Watch Mauigoa just knife in there for the big-time tackle for loss. That's what you want from a linebacker. And again, the transfer portal. His brother's the left tackle, maybe the right tackle, the 5-star freshman Francis Mauigoa. But what a play by there to get the stop like I talked about. Now I'm assuming, George, that's some positive points there for the defense. Or maybe it's not. Not sure.
It's going to end up being a stop. But so they get him
2 points.
1 point there. 27-yard field goal attempt by Borregales is good. So the offense gets 3 points there. The defense gets a point too. We're going to be having some fun here tallying up these points, but watching some great football here from this Miami Hurricanes spring game here in Fort Lauderdale.
It is nice to see him out there, George. He only was able to play in 1 game last year. Going back to that 2021 season, he was special and showed some really bright lights.
And a run there by Jakari Brown. Jakari, a mobile quarterback for sure. Young player, they feel like they still need to refine his passing a little bit, but he is an incredible athlete when you watch him out there.
Coach Shannon Dawson had nothing but great things to say about the young man. A high level of skill set, a rocket launcher for an arm. Just a matter of really honing that thing in and just hitting your spots.
Yeah, he's got a cannon for sure. You see him out here in the gun, 4 receivers. Hand it off to Cheney on the left side. Picks up a couple of yards, but a flag on the play. Tackle there by Jaden Harris. And of course, as you mentioned, his brother Francis Mauigoa starting at tackle here today. Bubble screen incomplete, dropped there by Robbie Washington. Coach Dawson said he's never had a kid like Jakari before, but elite arm talent, as you mentioned. And here's Jakari here on 3rd and 17, in trouble. There's that cannon we were talking about a second ago, puts one up for grabs, incomplete. And as you mentioned, the accuracy there is part of the issue. But Jakari, the sophomore out of Valdosta, Georgia, goes 0 for 2 on that drive. We have a poor punt here, bouncing near midfield. And I know that Coach Cristobal's first down here from their own 45-yard line for the offense. Van Dyke with time, dumps it down to Chaney. Chaney cut back towards the middle of the field and gets across midfield for a gain of 6 there.
And also, I thought it really stood out that he made it a point to say this was not Josh Gaddis's fault. It was not Josh Gaddis's offensive fault. He said it was everyone's fault, and it was an execution issue.
There has to be a relationship there between OC and the QB.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to know that you have the green light. You have the responsibility, really, to get your team.
Henry Parrish now checking back in at running back next to Van Dyke. 2nd and 1 here. Van Dyke throwing it down the field, and wow, Restrepo was playing DB there in a lot of ways. I don't know if there was a miscommunication between him and Restrepo on to how deep that route was supposed to go. So 3rd and 1 here.
Low roof by the safeties here, too.
Yeah, there's pressure coming. Van Dyke's going to keep it and run for the first down. 2 tight ends out there for Miami. Van Dyke, blitz coming. Throws it, finds Colby Young there, near the marker. They're going to give him a first down there after an 11-yard gain.
And a great get-off by number 9, Najee Kelly. He's a player that had 4 sacks last season. In my opinion, George, that should have been a sack. We talked about that sack point number, but again, you got an offensive line background head coach. He's going to let that one fly, and a great ball by Tyler Van Dyke right in the numbers.
I'm sure Jason Taylor, though, the defensive line coach, is happy with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a great pursuit right there.
Congrats to Jason Taylor, by the way, promoted from analyst to defensive ends coach. Parrish on the left side, not much there. No gain. Here's JT, Hall of Famer. Man's got a gold jacket. He loves to coach some football. Got a chance to see him yesterday and catch up with him. I was lucky enough, EJ, to cover his career with the Dolphins for many, many years when I lived here in Miami. One of the best dudes around. Hall of Fame player and Hall of Fame person.
Yeah, absolutely. And Coach Cristobal had nothing but great things to say about Coach Taylor. He's a tenacity. He's bringing it every single day. And he's a guy that shows up with nothing to prove, but he acts like he has everything to prove to this team. He's going to sell out to his players and make sure those guys are ready to go.
They used to have to kick him out of the building, they said, when he was an analyst. You're like, yo, you got to go home now, man. Here's Tyler Van Dyke. Deep pass into the end zone. Incomplete. Good defensive play. Pass a little short for Colby Young. Daryl Porter in coverage.
And George, I like this. Keep working Colby Young. He's 6'5", 215 pounds.
I remember Daryl Porter playing in the NFL as well. He played here in Miami briefly, Buffalo for a number of years. His father. So good to see Junior in a Hurricanes uniform.
Absolutely.
And we got a whistle here. Maybe a false start. Yep.
50's low and kind of on the same level. You expect the blitz. Came out of it. Okay.
But he's being flushed out of the pocket to his left, trying to get out of there. He's gone the run, and he's going to get out of bounds. He's not going to get the first down. He's going to be short by about 3 yards.
So like man coverage down to the bottom of your screen.
Van Dyke, quick toss there to Colby Young. And not much there, incomplete. Daryl Porter with the stick on Colby Young. Hand off to Chaney up the middle, pushing the pile. Picks up 4 yards there. Jaden Wayne on the tackle for the defense. Matt Lee is obviously the coveted transfer from UCF. Here's Jakari, pump fake. Now he's going to take off, and you see the wheels there. And they'll give him the first down as he gets beyond the 30-yard line, a 10-yard gain there. Let's take a look here. Oh, yeah, you were right.
A little sweaty out here. The humidity's rolling. Nerves rolling.
Jakari Going deep down the left sideline for Ray Joseph, the freshman out of Miami Edison, highly touted freshman, incomplete there. Chose Miami over Alabama, Clemson, Georgia, LSU, Michigan, and Notre Dame.
On Ray, like right on Rice. And look, that ball has to be perfect to get into there. Really cover play, really good cover. The hard part about a spring game usually is the fact that the defense knew a lot of our plays. Now, maybe that's me just saying that as an offensive player. There was times you make a check, and they're already calling it out, knowing what is going to come. So,
and then, you've got Inez Cooper, who's got some starts under his belt. Francis Mauigoa, the #1 offensive tackle in the country this year. Javion Cohen, an Alabama transfer, and, of course, Jalen Rivers, who had 12 starts for the Hurricanes as well. This is more of a Mario Cristobal-style offensive line.
Absolutely, and they even have some players that aren't playing tonight. Zion Nelson played left tackle for a long time for the Hurricanes, coming back from an injury. When you think about Coach Cristobal and how he wants this Miami team to look, it's going to start up front. Offensive line, defensive line, and even during our conversations this week, we talked about building culture, and it starts up front with that O-line.
Van Dyke in the pocket, pump fakes. They're going to blow the whistles because that pocket was collapsing there.
Absolutely. And that's definitely one of those one-point sacks by the defense.
About 3.5 to go here in the first quarter.
Drop 8.
And Dyke throws into coverage, and that one is tipped at the line of scrimmage. And 3rd and 17 here. Payne showing blitz. Van Dyke with time, finds Restrepo over the middle. Restrepo breaks a tackle and gets into the defense's territory. We'll pick up a first down there.
Work the interior of the defense, carve them up for a big-time first down.
Wesley Bassett missed the tackle there on Restrepo. Now the pass to Brashard Smith, a short gain there of 4 yards. Van Dyke under pressure, flings one to the sideline. It's caught there by Colby Young. Makes a move. Got plenty for the first down there and then some as he gets inside the 20-yard line. A 19-yard gain down to the 16.
This defensive line at Miami has really impressed me early on in this first quarter.
Ahmad Moten, Fort Lauderdale kid, local kid from Cardinal Gibbons. Back-to-back state champ in high school. Chose Miami over LSU, Oklahoma, Oregon, and Tennessee. Van Dyke on first down. Here comes the blitz. They hand it off to Parrish. Trying to turn the corner on the left side, cannot do it. As Markeith Williams was there to push him out of bounds, a 2-yard gain. Last year, Restrepo was out for a big chunk of the season, and there were a lot of young guys out there, but these guys now have another year of experience under their belts. It goes into the end zone for a touchdown to Jacoby George.
That's what we want to see.
The number 16 receiver in his class a couple years ago. He's a junior. Gets him on the board, and finally we see the pitch and catch work into the end zone. The extra point by Borregales is good.
Really good stutter step there. Froze him and went right to the pylon. As a quarterback, you're taught to throw that thing at the pylon and 2 yards down. Great pass by Tyler Van Dyke. Beautiful throw, beautiful catch. Taken in by George.
Are we sure Van Dyke doesn't have an earpiece with our broadcast? Because I had just mentioned he had 3 straight incompletions, and then from there on out, he had 4 straight completions for 62 yards and that touchdown to Jacoby George.
That big catch for a first down. I think it was second or third and long. Got him going.
Emory Williams in at quarterback. He hands it off on his first play there to Terrell Walden out of Winter Gardens, Florida, West Orange High School. But Emory Williams, true freshman early enrollee, picked Miami over Auburn, Cal, FSU, Pitt, and Wisconsin, a 4-star player, 14th ranked quarterback in his class.
Yeah, this coaching staff is really excited about Emory Williams. Said he's technically be going to prom now. He's an early enrollee, so you got to appreciate the fact that he wanted to get his college career started early. But a lot of growth for this young man over the last 14 practices. Let's see what he can do in this 15th in this spring game.
I mean, prom's fun, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
if you could play quarterback at the U, you know?
It's a little cooler.
And nowadays, I feel like kids have proms all the time. Junior prom, freshman prom. There's a prom all the time. Tyler Van Dyke and company doing their thing. We saw Emory Williams in the game now. And obviously a recruit that matters to them as you see him throw outside, and he connects there with Nathaniel Ray Joseph. Picks up enough for the first down.
It's a good strike right there by the young quarterback. And Ray Joseph is one of those players that this staff is extremely excited about. A true freshman, probably the fastest. You leave it to him to say it. He's the fastest player on the team. And really stretched right out there to get that catch was huge on third down.
Miami Edison High School in the house. Emory Williams directing traffic to his tight end. He's definitely invested in that playbook, you can see there. Handoff on the left side to Terrell Walden. Not much there. If you watched Mario Cristobal at Oregon, a lot of tight ends got run up there. Williams throws off his back foot towards the left sideline, and we got a catch. Isaiah Horton catches the ball inside the 20-yard line. A 34-yard catch.
And nothing you can really do. A well-thrown ball by Emory Williams off his back foot, but give your receiver a chance to come back for that catch.
Play action. Bootleg there to Riley Williams, who we mentioned earlier. I remember Mike Rumpf here in his playing days at the University of Miami. Incredible college player, played in the pros for many years as well. Here's Emory Williams taking off, looking around, saying, hey, if nobody's going to be around,
Big fella.
I'm going to keep going. Borregala's a 51-yard attempt here. Testing his leg, Borregales, who has a big leg. The kick is up and good. Excellent job there. Borregales, a weapon certainly for the Canes in the kicking game.
So a lot to look forward to in the next couple of weeks with those guys.
And Dyke back in there, sidearm to Jacoby George. And he's going to turn on the Jets, going down the sideline and tripped up there in defensive territory inside the 45-yard line by Francisco Mauigoa.
Excellent throw, catch set, get it out. Got to navigate the trees a little bit, so to speak, with those defensive ends, get their hands up. But again, Jacoby George kept taking off. Big play.
32-yard gain there. Handoff on the left side to Chaney. Breaks a couple of tackles, gets inside the 40.
Really makes it hard, stresses the defense to play side on the sideline.
Van Dyke in trouble there. And are they going to blow the whistle? That one's incomplete to Restrepo.
Well, guys, watch center Matt Lee, the UCF transfer, going to this. Every play, it looks like he's conducting an orchestra down there. He's probably the biggest orchestra conductor in South Florida. He's pointing, he's moving, he's squatting, he's yapping. He is the quintessential grizzled veteran at center in a much-needed upgrade on an offensive line that really struggled for Miami last year. You can imagine how Mario Cristobal treated an offensive line that couldn't block. Talked to Matt Lee the other day. What a delightful bolt of energy he was on the phone. He said when he came down on his visit, it meant a lot to him that Tyler Van Dyke flew back from Connecticut on Christmas break to host him. He also said he brought him to Smith & Wolinski's and the Rusty Pelican. So, needless to say, after a weekend in Miami, in appreciating the legacy of the Cane tradition, he committed on the spot.
Well, Smith & Wolinski's great down on South Beach. Rusty Pelican and Key Biscayne, that's a local spot right there.
It's a hot spot, absolutely.
For sure. But Matt Lee, Coach Cristobal raving about him, said he's special, said it's like the guys he's had at Bama or at Oregon. It compared him to a Brett Romberg here at Miami, who led Miami to a couple of national championship game appearances. So they love Matt Lee.
And look, Coach Cristobal is not going to lie to you. He said he's a dude. Reminds him of Ryan Kelly, who he coached at Alabama, 3-time Pro Bowler in the NFL, Indianapolis Colts. A lot of high praise for the center by Matt Lee.
Fourth down here for Van Dyke. Thrown across the field. It's complete for Jacoby George, who he seems to be building a nice connection with here. Devontae Brown in coverage after a 10-yard gain. With the holding penalty, it's now 4-17, so they're going to punt this one. Punt here by Dylan Joyce and fielded by Restrepo at the 11-yard line. Dylan Joyce from Australia. Punt 40 yards. Miami had certainly a lot of success with an Australian punter in recent years. And I feel like, listen, there's a lot of Australian punters in college football these days now.
Absolutely.
There's a pipeline down there.
Yeah, hair out of the tats and just kind of a cool punter. I actually played with a really cool punter when I was in the NFL, Marquette King. For some of those that may remember that name. He's actually in the XFL right now doing his thing.
Take another look here at Chikari. Handoff up the middle to Terrell Walden. 2nd and 9 after a gain of 1. Chikari, play action. Will launch it to the sideline. Complete there. Near the 20-yard line to Isaiah Horton. 9-yard gain there for Horton.
big 3rd-and-1 situation right here. See if this defense can get another stop, get off the field.
Would you like to see Jakari throw it here, perhaps, or run it?
3rd and short, I'm assuming they're going to run.
Yeah.
The offensive line, let's see if they can actually gain a yard. That's something with a head coach that has an offensive line background. He's going to put that challenge on these guys to gain that yard.
Terrell Walden in the backfield takes the snap, bouncing it to the outside, drags some defenders to the 30-yard line, and a gain of 8 on that play as Terry Roberts brings him down.
Move chains.
First down for Jakari. Now we'll see him throw it. And nice pass there. Pitch and catch to Robbie Washington, enough for a first down. 11-yard gain there. And he put a little fastball out there, a little mustard on that
A
one.
little mustard on that one, George. You love to see a quarterback thread the needle to help his receiver protect himself. Right over the top of the head of the linebacker. He had no chance because there was so much juice on that thing. A really solid throw, nice catch. You see that ball go through the net as a quarterback, you just get in a rhythm.
Jakari drops back, throws over the middle. Ooh, that one, a dangerous pass, almost picked off. Kane showing blitz. An end around here for Ray Joseph, and a flag on the play as he'll pick up a couple of yards, but we'll see if it's coming back. 2nd and 17 for Jakari. Kane's defense showing blitz again. Here they come off the edge. They dump it to Ray, but he drops it there. Are they going to say he's able to pick it up? Yep, and he's going to lose a ton of yardage. Right idea, poor execution on that one, a loss of 10 on the play. And to your point, right, you want to give Ray an opportunity to catch it, maybe
Exactly.
put a little air under it too.
Exactly.
Jakari with time here, and the pocket closing on him, and they'll say that's a sack. Ruben Bain was there, of course, the freshman. Legacy player, as I mentioned, from Miami Central. Get the positive yards for sure. There's the punt by Joyce. This one's a good punt. And a fair catch there by Ray Joseph.
And not just a cliche, but don't be afraid to go out there and grind and do what you got to do to become the best player you can be.
Van Dyke flushed out of the pocket, throws on the run. It is complete to Colby Young. And they will mark him out of bounds at the 44-yard line.
It's going to be Colby Young coming down for the relief.
Henry Parrish up the middle. Picks up the first down.
Whether it's breaking the pocket, standing in the pocket, looks really clean tonight.
Yep. And he launches one for Restrepo. The diving catch. Are they going to say he got it? No, they're going to say incomplete. TVD in the gun on 2nd down here. Handoff up the middle to Parrish. It's a couple of yards. Van Dyke with time. Oh, and they got him. There's Ruben Bain, legacy player.
Once again.
His uncle Tolbert Bain beat Jalen Rivers there for that sack, and an 8-yard loss.
Miami wanted to keep their in-home players home, whether it was Miami Northwestern, Miami Central, Booker T. They're going to try to do their best to keep their talent here in the 305.
Last year, 5th-ranked class in the FBS, according to ESPN. Look at those names, man. A couple of those guys are going to play a lot on Saturdays.
Yeah, absolutely. And Francis Mauigoa is the main one that stands out to me. Now, Bradenton obviously means he was the IMG.
Yeah.
3 players on this list from IMG Academy. But again, staying home to the central South Florida area is so big for this program, for this team, for the culture, and the mindset that the Canes are trying to bring back here to Coral Gable. Want to see Jakari Brown make good decisions here. Don't force the ball. 33 seconds left. You get a couple completions, great.
There he gets one to Robbie Washington.
Good move.
Can't teach 6'4", 210 as a sophomore,
Not at all. Not at all.
Jakari
Good ball.
looking left. Completes there to Ray Joseph. Cuts back. Makes a guy miss. Still going. Stays on his feet and tackled at the 39-yard line. He's going to pick up a first down. Jabari Ishmael brings him down after a 25-yard gain.
YouTube, and the guy just exuded with confidence. Loves to be a Hurricane. Works his tail off.
Here's Jakari with plenty of time. Checks it down.
Nice.
To Riley Williams.
Another freshman at the IMG Academy.
There's a pipeline, there now. Yeah, Mario's building that pipeline there for sure. 3rd and 2, 5 seconds to go here in the first half. Jakari taking his time. We're going to see that cannon. Yes, we are. He's going to launch it down the field.
Go up and get it.
And it's knocked away. Intended for number 16, Isaiah Horton. Terry Roberts eventually knocked it down. So that'll do it for the first half.
It is state-of-the-art, beautiful indoor facilities, practice facilities, film room, weight room, everything is top-notch.
Probably more to come here. Handoff up the middle. Breaks free, Don Chaney, and they're going to whistle him down. And he was an incredible high school player.
Yep.
So there's a lot of talent there for Don Chaney.
Over 4,500 rushing yards in high school, 60 touchdowns. Big time.
You see him here again. He gets hit by Daryl Porter.
The thing I love about Miami's corners, even to Tariq Stevenson, who's going in the NFL draft, studying him, these guys like to tackle. Some corners don't like that contact, but these guys are willing tacklers. They're going to stick their face mask in there and get you down for a tackle out in the flat.
Got a flag here, some movement along the defensive front. It'll be offsides.
Had a great recruiting year. So I think what we're seeing right now is not only some on the field, some really quality young players mixed in with some of the veterans. Here at the University of Miami, we're a national brand. We galvanize the South Florida community, especially from the football perspective, and I think that's where Mario's taken us. And, just some quality student athletes, and really, really proud of what both programs accomplished.
Dan, do you think it's more important now than ever to have infrastructure in place and have outside infrastructure in place with NIL for programs to succeed and thrive in this new landscape?
Because your student athletes change. So we're excited about that opportunity here as well.
All right, guys, they're turning the battleship here to make Miami, Miami again. Back to you.
All right, Pete, thank you. 4 national championships in that stretch alone.
Absolutely. So he knows what it's supposed to look like, George.
Here's Tyler Van Dyke to the boundary there.
A really nice, simple out route by Kobe Young. Good throw right there, nice pace, getting that 1 foot down, college rules.
Now, when this team is rolling, it does galvanize the city in a way that maybe other teams don't. We got a run here up the middle. Don Chaney, are they going to give him the touchdown? Yes, sir. 38 yards for a score as he's galvanizing the offense at the moment.
Back healthy again.
Longest play of the game.
See that thud right there, about 15.
Yep.
I think he probably would have called him down. That was Marquise Williams from the safety spot.
So they won't give him the touchdown, but they do give him the first down. As I was mentioning, it does galvanize the city when this team is rolling. I remember growing up when they were winning in those days in the 80s. I was a little kid, and black, white, Hispanic, the whole community was just all about the Canes.
Absolutely. Look, college football is a better place when Miami's good. That's just a fact.
Yeah, last year going into the season, there was a lot of chatter of him being a first-round type quarterback, and then of course the injury struck. Hands it off to Walden. And Dawson is a great teacher, there's no doubt. Here's Van Dyke over the middle, finds his man, Rashard Smith, for another first down. Van Dyke with time, finds his man.
Nice.
And into the end zone for a touchdown is Brashard Smith. No, they're going to say down at the 1. He was thudded at the 1.
George, I love this play because you see the progressions there. If this was live action, I think this might have been a touchdown because I don't know if this player is going to make that tackle there. Maybe so, yeah. Really clean progression by Tyler Van Dyke. Love what he's been doing tonight.
So they're going to give Borregales another kick attempt here. A 21-yard attempt for Borregales. Kick is up and good.
There's also a secret Cajun steak marinade.
Oh, yeah.
That he told us involves some sort of spice rub from a small grocery store in an itty-bitty town in Louisiana.
Correct. Because JT is big on cigars. Yep. And he says they're trading off there. Steak marinade for a cigar.
I want to see Jakari Brown put that thing, give it a little bit of air instead of throwing it on such a line to allow that receiver to get the catch and then just take off and run with his speed.
And the third quarter is over. We got one more quarter to go. Running clock. You hear? Canes in action. Hand off to Mike Perrino. On 3rd and 1. Are they going to give him the first down?
Looks like he's short here from my point.
Yep. You always want to see where they're traveling to. At Florida State, obviously, will be a tough one. But they've got Clemson at home. They begin the season on September 1st at Miami of Ohio. That Texas A&M game, they were right there, nip and tuck with them last year on the road at College Station. And Miami of Ohio, obviously, Lance Guidry has a connection to that school as well.
Miami versus Miami.
Yeah, you don't get that very often.
Don't get that too often.
And that's a big one for Jimbo Fisher, too, by the way.
Absolutely.
After,
Teams.
after struggling last season.
Yep.
Your old coach, right?
Absolutely.
And he was trying to fire up the crowd in that locker room. Let's take a quick listen.
Now, we're going to have to be in a long fight, fellas. We're the underdog again. Once again, you're disrespected and you got to prove yourself. So you got to put that chip back on your shoulder. And you play with that all night long. And we talked about that Triple Crown. And it's going to take 4 quarters. Not just the 4th quarter. All 4 quarters, fellas. We got to come out the gates. We got to come out the gates and run our race. Let's go get our damn trophy.
That'll fire you up.
Got me fired up. Ready to go right now. My helmet in.
By the way, it looks like Coach Guidry's eaten some of those steaks since then, by the way, too. Looks like he's eating better.
Oh, yeah. Living good. Living good down here in South Florida. Some like Cuban food, little Prime 112, some cigars with Jason Taylor.
Yep.
Good life, man.
Jakari Brown.
He's from Miami, kind of a folk hero. He won a lot of state championships. He's got high expectations for himself, and those are the type of kids we're trying to bring into the program.
One position group that the head coach, who has a little bit of bias, has mentioned quite a bit is the offensive line. How much has that position group transformed in the last year?
Oh, yeah, it's we've got some really good players.
As a longtime NFL scout, I'm curious of your take on Tyler Van Dyke. He obviously had the scouts excited last summer, had an uneven year. Why do scouts like him so much?
Well, he's a big quarterback, and he's got a strong arm. Very smart, but more than anything, he's a good leader. Teammates like him. He works hard, and if you're willing to work hard with talent, you become a pretty good football player. And we're excited about him being the leader of our team this year.
Why does he think this offense is going to help him get back on track?
You know what? It's a pass-friendly offense. The offensive coordinator, Dawson, has had a lot of success in this offense. He's had a lot of good quarterbacks.
Obviously played here for the Canes. Knowing what the talent's supposed to look like, the standard here at Miami.
Van Dyke down the field, got a man. Are they going to give him the touchdown? No, they're going to say out at the 1-yard line for Riley Williams from IMG Academy. A 33-yard pitch and catch puts Miami right at the 1-yard line, knocking on the door.
Tyler Van Dyke sees it, got a mismatch here. A shorter defensive back, number 15, Markeith Williams, the safety.
Dyke, quick toss.
Nice.
And he's got a touchdown this time to Jacoby George. Another TD to George. And Van Dyke and George showing a connection this evening.
And you know what that shows me there, George, is the fact that TVD has the ability to just go fast. He saw that there was nobody over Jacoby George.
And one of the newcomers of the year that year in the ACC. Last year, injury prone. Offense also didn't seem to suit him as well. This one certainly suits him. Drake May is one of these guys that, as Emory Williams is in there, and they're going to blow that one dead. Incomplete either way, intended for Robbie Washington.
Coming back collectively.
6-yard loss on the play. Ray Joseph in motion. Play action. Williams throws a fastball, but knocked away by the defender there, Cyrus Moss. All right, check that.
Miles
Boudjahn. Yeah.
Great play right there by the redshirt freshman.
Potential placement for them in the future draft, but just like quarterback play in general has elevated so much over the last decade.
It really has, and it's a good mix too. You got some older guys, got some younger guys, but what a shot right there by Emory Williams and our guy George.
You see the speed
Ray
there.
baby, taking it to the house.
Took it to the house. Emory Williams, a strike to Nathaniel Ray Joseph from Edison High School here in South Florida. 79 yards.
Beyond the safeties, 2 safety look right there. They left him alone. You got to account for the fastest guy on the field, and like I said, you just give him an opportunity to catch that ball, George. He's going to do the rest with that take-home speed.
By far the biggest play of the day today here in the spring game, and you see the Jets there.
And a really good confidence builder for Emory Williams, the young freshman quarterback.
He hit that turbo button in Madden
He
to
gone.
get that extra speed.
Absolutely. He ain't catching him.
Extra point is up and good, and now the offense puts an exclamation mark on this one as time is running out and all the players will be on the field to celebrate, congratulate each other. Offense looked a lot cleaner in the second half.
Very clean in the second half. And truly, you saw both sides of the football make plays. The defense got after the passer. The passers worked some of the press corners, throwing up some really nice jump balls for the receivers to come down with some catches.